And it's 2 p.m. Eastern Time from the studio here in Pennsylvania, United States of America. And it's 7 p.m. GMT in Accra and also 8 p.m. GMT in Abuja, Nigeria. Hello, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. Thank you for tuning in to Mozart Woods Media. We are streaming live across the globe on all our social media platforms at Mozart Woods. It's Easter, and this provides a fine opportunity for families to gather and enjoy. Indeed, that's how a lot of families are doing it across the globe as we speak. But as we are marking the resurrection of Christ Jesus, somewhere, somehow, there is a girl, a wife, a husband, somewhere who is being abused. So, on our political affairs show tonight, we are discussing the growing gender based violence across the world. But tonight, we are focusing on Africa as we speak, as I ask, just how widespread is this challenge in Africa? Let me give you a little perspective. In 2019, Amnesty International reported that homes became dangerous place for women and young girls during the COVID-19 lockdown across Southern Africa. This is because within the first week of the lockdown in South Africa, police service reported receiving 2,300 calls for help related to gender-based violence. Also, by June 2020, about 21 women and girls has been killed by intimate partners in the country. Apart from that, in nearby Mozambique, in a Maputo Central Hospital, employee was raped and murdered on the 31st May 2020. Whilst in Zimbabwe, it has been documented that 764 cases of gender based violence occurred in the first 11 days of the national lockdown. Just this past week, a popular musician, a singer called Osina Chi, the name is very difficult, I can't even pronounce it, died allegedly due to domestic violence. This list goes on and on and on. So, in our political affairs program tonight, we are asking, what should we do as a people to end this gender based violence in Africa? Joining us tonight is Dr. Angelina Jamina Abwaji. She's the executive director, the ACT Foundation. And then we also have Ama Odami Amwakun. She is a sexual and a gender based violent advocate in Ghana. And then, hello, can you hear me? All right. We will move on and then talk to Doctor. Doctor, can
Yes,
you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you.
I have read your profile earlier. I know you were at Akrofi Crystalline Institute of Theology, and then you read a master's in mission and culture in 2006. Um, Tell us, what is the root cause of all these things, violent, etc., that's going on in our homes?
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Today is Resurrection Sunday for Christians, and
yeah,
we know that Africa is a very religious continent. There are Christians who are in the majority,
mm,
Muslims, there are people of other faiths. But the question is, whether people actually recognize that there's a lot of evil and wickedness in the world.
mm.
Okay, so gender based violence and domestic violence are part of the problem of evil in the world. And what our state institutions try to do is to either prevent it or correct it or address it when it happens. Okay, so this is the world trying to make things right, but
All
we
right.
should understand that these things would be with us probably as long as the world lasts, because as long as people choose to act upon their base instincts, we will get this going. Now, what is the root cause therefore? um I'm speaking as a lawyer, and I'm speaking as an advocate, and
Yeah,
also a pastor. So I come from quite a number of places.
all
I
right.
can understand that the root cause is plainly man's inhumanity to man. Okay, so
Right.
you find, for example, in the Bible, the first recorded case of domestic violence was when Cain killed his brother Abel because he was annoyed. That was the
All right.
first recorded domestic violence case. Okay, this is a brother against a brother, and it continued after that. So you have a situation where one person feels that they have power over another person. And this
Right.
happens a lot, particularly in our homes and our cultural settings, when power is, sort of ganged up in one person as against another. Now, if that person is not restrained by their upbringing, by maybe their religious propensities, or by their conscience, they are
Mm-hmm.
likely to use the power wrongly. That happens a lot in domestic violence. Okay, so I believe that I married you, I have power over you, and if you do things that I believe I do not like, whether
Right.
you think it's okay or not, I can exercise a certain kind of power and control over you and put you in your place. If I have to smack you, I can do that. If I have to whip you, if I have to rape you, whatever shows that I have power over you, and I'm putting you in your place for what I believe is not to my liking. That's simply domestic violence. So the root cause is power and control. Unfortunately, it appears that power is stuck a lot when it comes to the males, among us, culturally,
Right.
politically, and in all sectors. Okay, so there's a lot of impunity about the use of this power, and that's why now people are going about advocating. Institutions are being asked to, step up and make sure that they intervene in homes,
Right.
especially, and all of these situations.
Before we arrived at trying to do something about it, you think parenting has been a problem. I was discussing this with my wife as from church today, and she asked me a question, and I was just saying that what about we adding this particular subjects to our curriculum, to our lads, our wards, as we started bringing them up from the primary stage, because being with somebody is like a job. It's also a job. If I am training my ward or the student to become scientists or to become astronomist or to become a biochemist, I think being with somebody or getting married or being with somebody in the same house is also another form of a job if we have to just let them go through that training so that way when they get to their matured age, it's not that we are now coming to help them or try to teach them, etc., etc. What do you have to say about that before I move to the next question?
Right. Well, it helps.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, people sometimes act out of ignorance.
Mm.
Sometimes they don't act out of ignorance.
Yeah.
Sometimes they know that this is wrong. However, they'll still continue to do it for as long as nobody challenges them. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody tells them to the face, or nobody tries to handle the situation in an appropriate way. So, yes, training, education, sensitization, they help. Putting it in our curriculum. I know some countries have done it, they help.
Yeah.
I can tell you for a fact that it helps a lot. At least when people begin to understand the root cause of this kind of thing, and they don't attribute it to poverty, jealousy, anger, lack of training, and all of that. Okay, then you get people, and that kind of understanding actually also helps in the choices that they make. Okay,
Okay.
so that they can choose to act in a certain way because they understand that this is the root cause, and it's not because I'm poor, it's not because I am just angry, it's not because I am frustrated, it's not because I don't have money, that's why I'm
Right.
hitting my spouse. Okay, it is because I'm choosing to act in a certain way. I may have learned it by watching the way my parents resolve their issues. That may
Okay.
be a cause, but even so, I still have the choice. Okay, as long as I'm lucid. And that's why the question of mental health, people often say, are these people okay in their minds? Most abusers are very okay. They don't behave the same way when they are with other people or in
Mm-hmm.
other situations.
Yeah.
They choose their targets very carefully. They
Mm.
are usually people with them, they can isolate them and cut them off social support and everything and abuse them. They won't do that in the workplace. So off they are very lucid,
Mm.
very okay. Most of them. Okay. The ones that may have mental health issues would
Right.
do it to other people, they would flip here, flip there, do this here, do this there. It's not just at somebody that they believe is under their thumb.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I remembered, doctor, I grew up in the barracks.
Right.
I grew up in the barracks and in the
Okay.
military. Those days, I don't know whether it still happen. If you spank your wife and your wife reports this to your commanding officer, you go to guard room for 90 days.
Mm,
90 days. And
mm,
if it continues again, you lose your rank.
mm.
So, so these are the punishment for a thing like that. So before you even think, doctor, let me ask you a question. Why is it difficult for persons in this kind of relation to seek early help? Why is it so? Is it
Well,
because of our culture, our upbringing, etc.,
mm,
etc.? Yeah.
it's all part of it actually. Women especially grow up believing they are in a subordinate position already. Okay, so they take that baggage also into marriage without understanding that you're going into a partnership of equals. Even if you are somebody who believes that the husband is the head of the family, the headship of the family does not mean a boss who subordinates others. Okay,
Okay.
it means something very different. Okay, but that's how people come into marriage with a certain frame, a cultural frame. Okay, that's is not often challenged. And so, if they are hurt or harmed, and they want to seek help outside, that which is already in their mind begins to restrain them already. In Ghana, we would say, if you send the to no
Hmm.
abonten, so it's like you can't wash your dirty linen in public. When your people are marrying, they say these things to them, okay? Solve your problems and make sure you don't let anybody know. And often it's the woman who imbibes or has to imbibe a lot of these things. Okay. Sometimes it's about the children.
Yeah.
Where will we go? Okay, who will take care of my children? If I leave, what's going to happen to them? Okay. Sometimes it's this great hope that the person will change. Okay,
Right.
believing that if you pray long and hard enough, the person will change without understanding that sometimes prayer comes to change you and your perception so that you can take the appropriate.
Call in on Sister Angel and or Sister Angel and then Sister or Dami on their cell phone. But before that, Doctor, I want you to just let's listen to this text message coming from somewhere in the United States. Sometimes the women think that because their husbands have paid their bride price, they have been subjected into being submissive to. Oh my God, I just lost the test. Okay. Submissive to their husband, even if they are abused, they become afraid of the ridicule. They will. I don't know. The text message keeps on running. And then, okay, in a long shot, it's saying that because, and I know you've thrown light on that, but let's talk about it again. Because the man had paid the bride price, he thinks that he owns the woman like a property, and so therefore you must be submissive. And today's woman is enlightened. Because of the internet, because of church, because of going to the market, because meeting other people, seeing people with their relationships. So therefore, they come out and say, listen, you can't treat me like that. Can you throw more light on
Well, you see, there's an interesting twist to this.
that?
You would find that there are many supposedly educated,
Yeah. Hmm.
enlightened women who have access to finances, who have access to internet, and all of these things, who are still abused and are afraid to step out, talk about it, or break their silence. In fact, my experience in 20 how many years of work in this area, I find that it's more difficult for women within the elite class
Right.
to actually speak about this, to take the steps that they need to do. I find that women who may not have so much education or even so much financial power somehow are able to, you know, uh, wreck up some resistance or take more action, better action than women like me and many other people, who are educated and so on and so forth. It means that is this buy into the social status of the relationship and all of that, and what it means when people see us they will stigmatize us, and so on and so forth. It's a very strong thing. And so this question of submission may
Right.
go either way. It doesn't matter whether you are enlightened or not. The thing is, do you understand what submission is? Do you
Okay.
understand what headship is? Do you understand that it doesn't make you a doormat? Do you
Right.
understand that your headship does not mean that you are the Lord of all you survey, master of your own domain, and you
Mm.
can do exactly what you please without anybody's intervention? If that understanding comes, it doesn't matter whether the person is enlightened, has access, and whatever, whatever. If that understanding is there, the relationship dynamics change.
All right. Doctor,